Are you moving to Tucson or not? I don't understand. This was your big plan.
That has been my big plan. I was a little worried about this Project Blue and the water usage with the data center going up. I've been following it.
Wait, what's
There's another
Project Blue? Oh, is that
project.
the water and the data
Yeah,
center?
yes, the water in the data center. So I kind of want to see how that pans out and if all the hype or the controversy is true.
Oh, so
I don't want to
Catherine,
move. What?
you're a smart woman. I mean, I know you don't believe that, but believe me, you really are.
I know. I think I kind of believe
When
that.
you do deep dives on stuff, you do appropriately deep dives. You have a scientific mind. You
I do.
check the
Yes.
facts.
Mm-hmm.
This would be my suggestion to you. Don't just do superflorious. Is that a word?
Superfluous.
No, I said superflorious though. That's a
Oh
whole
no.
different thing.
Well, we can.
Don't do shallow research on this. Go
Right.
do a deep dive and
Oh,
see
I have
what's
been.
really going on with the data centers in Tucson and what the water supply there is like. And then I think you should be able to trust your findings.
I think so. I guess they're voting or something today. There's been a lot of hoopla, on both sides. You never know what to believe. My only question, and it's like a big one, and it's not the only one, but it's the one I'll pose to you right now, is that when we know that these data centers are not only energy hogs but water hogs,
Right?
why would you choose to build it in a desert?
I don't know.
I mean, that's just my.
It's
I
probably
just
cheaper for them. It's all
It
money.
must be cheaper. Yeah, it has to be money. And one of the articles I read about a week ago or so said that like Arizona's so neutral in terms of like natural disasters.
Mhm.
Like there's no like hurricane
Right.
risk. There's no there are wildfire risks, but not probably where they're
It's
going to
not too
build this
bad.
thing.
And
It's not too bad.
it's limited to
Yeah.
different areas. And compared to Canada and California and the Northwest, it's
Hmm.
trivial. So if you can look at a map of the United States and you can overlay extreme weather events,
Uh-huh.
the whole country is pockmarked except for Arizona. And like there are
Hmm.
just a couple of notes like, oh, windstorms.
Right.
It's like, okay, so you're telling me the worst we get is we get a little bit of wind.
Yeah. Well, the haboobs can be pretty intense,
Yeah,
but
but
they're kind of cool coming like when they
compared to
come.
a hurricane or a tornado,
Oh no
they
no
are
no
nothing.
no! They're nothing.
Nothing.
No
I've
no.
been
It's
through
child's
many of
play.
them already.
Mm-hmm.
And my
The
house
haboob.
has survived, I don't know, probably dozens upon dozens of them. And it's
Right.
not particularly well built. So if my house can survive and has survived, I'm not that
Right.
worried about it.
Agree 100%. So I think it's kind of, I don't know,
So,
geologically neutral or something. I don't
that as
know.
well. Yeah. As far as the water and data centers go, Catherine, you really should just buy an RV and then you can drive wherever the water is.
That's probably the best idea you've had today.
But for the love of God, don't buy a new one. They are built so badly now. They have
Are
gotten
they?
worse.
Really?
I follow this guy on TikTok, AZ RV expert. This guy is great. He just tells it like it is. All he does is fix RV. So he kind of knows what he's talking about. For the past,
Okay.
I think, 15 years, all of the top tier Class A, and by class, that's literally a class, the Class A trailers, the big
Okay.
ones, the big expensive ones that look like
Right.
buses,
Right.
they have membrane roofs. The roof is flexible.
Ooh.
And they all come off. They all fail. Every single one of them.
Oh, they don't come
either
off because you want them to. They come
right.
off
No,
because.
no. They come off because they're really bad.
Oh, hell no.
So you spend $500,000 on one of these stupid things,
Yeah.
and they fail. And you know what happens when you lose your roof is water comes in and destroys the rest of your house.
Ah, that would be problematic.
And the funniest thing was, for a short time, Winnebago made those Class A trailers back in the 90s.
Right?
And it was a really fancy one because it had rear steering. So it had regular steering in the front, but then it also had a special axle in the back, so it could steer as well, which is good because it's something that big. The more steering control you have, the better, because it's like
Okay.
driving a shipping container down the road.
Right. Right.
Well, some guy had a problem with his. This is from 1995 Winnebago. So he called up Winnebago, and Winnebago's like, "Huh?"
What?
And the guy explains, like, "No, we never made that." Like, Winnebago literally forgot that they made a whole range of RVs.
Unbelievable.
So you can't trust the big companies. So if you want an RV, buy a used one, because they all, like, the first year of RV ownership,
Mm-hmm.
everything breaks. So the
Yeah,
first
I've
year
heard
is
that.
spent fixing stuff. So after the first year, most of the stuff has been fixed, and their value is cratered.
It's kind of like one of those things, isn't it? Like you drive it off the lot and it loses
Yeah.
value. Yeah.
Except it's like tenfold for the RV.
Right. I don't know how interested I am living on wheels. And like the older I get, like to kind of
Yeah,
forage and plug shit in and do all the things you got to do to survive when you're parking your shit somewhere.
I get that, but
I
I
just would
think
like a little space,
if you,
with water.
if you think of it this way, like if you buy not you don't have to buy a big RV. You can get like a 25 or 30-foot RV, probably a
Uh-huh.
Class C
Okay.
because they're cheaper, and then you tow a car.
Oh, okay.
So then you can basically, you're just driving the big RV from one campsite to another campsite, mostly on the highway, so it's not really a big deal. It's a lot easier, obviously, to drive that on the highway than trying to drive down these little streets that we have in
Right.
Phoenix.
Yeah, windy. Yeah.
And then you just drive the regular car around, and then you can do that pretty inexpensively. And then you can be in whatever area of the country you want to be in for whatever period of time.
That actually that sounds pretty good because like the summer here is starting to get to me. It has
Yeah.
been hot. I mean, it wasn't bad up until like this week. I really was
Yes.
not.
It was been a good summer up so
I
far.
really was not, opposed to it. But last evening, my poor AC just ran and ran. Then it would go off, and I'd time it, and 3 minutes later, 5 minutes later, it'd come back on.
Yep, that's how
You
it
know,
goes.
and
It's all right. Actually, it's most of, oh, well, not most of it, but a lot of the power comes from the AC is when it kicks on because it has to spin up that motor, and there's
mm-hmm.
that's bad for the motor, and it's
Uh-huh.
bad for the electricity usage. That's a big spike in electricity and a hard grind on the motor. So
Damn.
the longer, if it's running, it's actually okay. It's like you don't want it to come on and go on and off a lot. You want it to come on and stay on.
Yes. Yeah, it just was a never-ending cycle last night, and it'd be like 3 minutes later, 8 minutes later, and then it finally got to like it was spacing out to like 20
I think
minutes, and
you
then
need a new hobby because timing your AC intervals is not a good use of
I know,
time.
I know, I what has this come to? I mean, this is me in this house.
That's
I'm
you.
losing my flipping mind.
Read a book.
I was reading Wicked, and I just
Okay,
I
good.
misplaced it somewhere.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm doing all kinds of stuff here, and I'm working on little projects for our project in October, and blah blah blah.
blah blah
So
blah. Who cares?
blah
No
blah.
one
Okay,
cares.
so anyway, so what else are we going to talk about? Speaking of data centers, do you have anything to update on data? You were talking earlier about something with
Oh God,
Meta.
do you want to hear about Meta?
I do.
Oh my God, I could not believe. The problem with this is to really understand it. Well, not really understand it, but to understand it to the degree that I understand it, I'm going to need to explain some really technical shit to you.
Can you do it fast?
No.
Okay, because I numb out. But go ahead.
Okay.
My eyes roll a bit. Go ahead.
All right. Meta,
Hmm?
which is Facebook. It was just
Right,
going to
right.
call. We're going to say Facebook, but it's
Mhm.
Meta. The larger corporation is Meta.
Okay.
Facebook got caught torrenting a bunch of porn.
Nice.
Yeah. So to understand this, why they did it, let's back up. And there's this thing called BitTorrent. You know what? Let's do an analogy for poor old little Catherine.
Please.
Catherine, imagine you have a big ass tree in your backyard.
I do.
Okay. Can you move that on your own?
No.
Of course not. I mean, it's a Herculean effort, and even if you did try to move it on your own, the likelihood is that you would probably,
Kill it.
yeah, probably destroy it in the
Mm.
process, right? So imagine you have a magic program.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call this program BitTorrent because that's what it's called. The BitTorrent program will look at that tree, and it will kind of slice it up into these meta pieces up for you,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
like 10-pound chunks that you could move individually and just
Like
move.
little pixels.
Exactly. It's like turning it into a Lego tree. But
Ah, I
it's
like
not
that.
really slicing it up. It's just doing it in a meta way.
Okay.
And then you move it one chunk at a time to the front yard. You reassemble it. It doesn't matter which order you do it in because it
Okay.
keeps track of everything. It chunks it up, and it keeps track of it. And if while you're moving one of these chunks, it gets damaged, it says, "Uh-oh, go back and get a replacement chunk," because it checks
Okay.
the chunks as it goes.
Got it. Okay.
It's great.
Okay,
So,
so-
so at the end of the day, you have the tree move from the backyard to the front yard.
Okay.
Except because this is actually the digital space, you've made a copy of it. So it's
Okay.
like your backyard and your front yard are, think of them as two different computers.
And they
One
both
is your
have
work,
okay.
one is your work computer and one is your home computer, and you just have to, get it back and forth from one to the other. So now you have two
Okay.
copies. So that's BitTorrenting, being
Okay.
able to chunk large files and move them easily across the internet or from
Got
your
it.
backyard to your front yard. When that BitTorrent program chunked up that tree, it created a set of instructions.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have that set of instructions, Catherine. You can take that set of instructions, and it's very small. It's like a one-page set of instructions, like 10 kilobytes. You can staple that to your mailbox, and all your neighbors can look at that, make a copy of it, take that copy home, put it in their BitTorrent program.
And they
and it
get a
will
tree?
make- it will make a copy of your tree
Mm.
and it propagates. And so what happens is when you made that little program, that little instruction sheet, BitTorrent basically gave it a unique name. So however many thousands of BitTorrent trees there are out there, each one
Mm-hmm.
has a unique name. So like when your neighbor takes the copy of the instructions and goes home and puts in their BitTorrent program,
Right.
it yells out into the network, "Hey, I'm looking for the tree named Bill. Do you have that tree?" And that's how they find it. And then you can destroy your trees and it's still on the network because people have
Ah.
copied it now. And the more people that copy it, the easier it is to download because I can download 1 bit from you and 1 bit from your neighbor. Like there's 100 chunks that this tree now exists in. I can download all those different 100 chunks from a lot of different people because BitTorrent knows which chunk is which. So it's just a
Okay.
phenomenally
So it lives on in
efficient way.
perpetuity, is what you're
Yes.
saying. Okay. All right. So how does this apply
All
to
right.
Meta?
Here's and the last piece of this
Okay.
puzzle you need to understand before we get back to Meta
Okay.
is that there is etiquette within the system. You're
Okay.
using BitTorrent. The basic etiquette is if you download, say, a gigabyte of data, you
Mm-hmm.
need to allow people to download from you at least a gigabyte. So you download a gigabyte, you upload a gigabyte. Minimum etiquette standards.
Okay.
And if you don't do that, if you only download, you eventually get kicked off the network. So you
I see.
have to upload. And the more you upload, like if you're a good citizen within this network and you let people download 3 gigabytes, 10 gigabytes, 100
Mm-hmm.
gigabytes, a tera, whatever, the more you do that, the more the system likes you and you get preferential treatment for downloading stuff.
I see. Okay. So okay.
So, okay, that was a
I,
lot. I'm sorry. But
I
that's
know.
BitTorrent.
I'm just going.
You now understand
I
BitTorrent.
get it. Yeah. Legos. Go.
And
Okay.
honestly, this is used obviously for music and movies
Okay.
primarily. But I guess it was last year, Facebook got called out for torrenting, BitTorrenting. I don't know, it was like terabytes worth of books in these shadow libraries,
Mm-hmm.
so that they could train their AI models, which people say may be illegal, yet to be decided. But
Right.
it was kind of a shady thing to do. Well, it turns out in order to get enough download credits to download all that data, they
Mm-hmm.
were uploading pornography. They would take a
Oh.
pornographic movie that had just come out literally that day, they would put it on the BitTorrent, and they would get all this credit so they could download all their crap.
Oh wow.
It's just stunning to me.
That is stunning.
So it's not just that they're literally a company is letting you download porn, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're quote stealing that content. It's not like
Right.
they're making the porn. I don't know. That's a good
Right.
question. Were they making the porn? Is this
I
Zuckerberg?
doubt it. I
I know.
doubt it. I doubt it. It's
But
just easier to steal it
a
with
porn
these
movie comes
phones.
out that day. They take it and they
Mm-hmm.
copy it and they put it up on torrenting. So the creators aren't getting paid for it because you can just go
Right.
torrent instead. It's
Great.
shocking that a public company, or I don't know, is that public? Yes, a public
Yeah.
company in the
Meta's
United
probably. Yeah.
States, Meta. It's shocking that they would do that. That's unbelievable.
Well, it's
Can you
unbelievable
imagine?
that they do that, and then they take our water, and I mean,
Can you imagine
everything's
if Apple did
unbelievable.
that? Microsoft?
You don't think they are?
No, of course they're not.
Okay.
They're not sharing porn.
There just doesn't seem to be a guardrail anymore, and these people will go apparently as low as they need to get their own self satisfaction.
Yes,
That's
that is
pretty
Meta.
much
That
my,
is Facebook.
you
That
know,
is the problem with Zuckerberg is he has no floor with which he cannot go below.
right. That's horrifying, James. That's really bad.
I mean, when Trump came into office, he basically disbanded the curation staff to,
Mm-hmm.
so that anything goes on Facebook now. There's nothing to stop it.
Well, I've been off Facebook
Nazis
for a
run
while.
galore, run
Yeah,
around like they're crazy.
I still am on Instagram, and I know that's a shameful thing to say, but I guess my algorithm must throw me more into the lefty side of things. So I get a lot of weird content and interesting content. And that's actually how I found out about Project Blue. Because
Hmm.
it's, in Tucson, because it's been so under the radar
Okay,
and
but
such a
Catherine, just
secretive. Go ahead.
I'm going to derail you for a second, and you get right back on track. So the guys who make Instagram, that's Zuckerberg, that's
I
Facebook,
know it
Meta.
is. I
Okay,
know it is.
so are they? Do you think you're seeing Project Blue because they're trying to be good citizens and let you know about all the bad stuff, or are they just trying to make a buck off of you?
Oh, probably the latter.
Oh, of course, no, 100%. If the guy is willing to share porn so he can steal books,
Uh huh.
sharing porn so he can steal books.
Oh, my
That's
God.
that's what they were doing. So he can create an AI that can replace the internet and give him sole control over the world. That's his ultimate goal.
I mean, is it? Really, two people want to run this planet? That just is so silly.
Well, I am the
That's
one who
like
should
so
be running
Dr.
this
Evil.
planet.
Yeah, you and me both.
I think I don't know. I don't know if I could allow you to make any decisions.
Oh, I make good decisions when I'm up against it.
I don't know. Would you cancel all research into
mRNA. I saw that.
mRNA vaccines?
Absolutely not. I don't know how aggressive we're going to go.
So Kennedy, Director
Yeah.
Kennedy just did that, which is blows my freaking mind.
Blows my freaking mind, too.
Canceled all the $500 million worth of research. No more research into this. It's not the only thing we can use a way to make vaccines, but it's one. It's one. This is a newer one, and it has some real advantages.
Right.
Anyway,
Well, speaking of AI, I don't know. I was driving yesterday to and fro in this heat. I happen to be listening to NPR, mine as
oh boy,
well, while you can, okay? And they covered this story, and it really pissed me off, but I found it interesting. Evidently, there was a 2013 film, and I may like slaughter the name here, but it's called Ranjana. That was re-released. It was about like one of the primary things was like a toxic relationship between a couple. And so I guess the original ending was quite conflicting. And people talked about it, and it just, obviously it was a creative endeavor. And so the ending made sense and, left people kind of feeling incomplete. So they decided to re-release this 2013 film, and they did, but they did it with a new ending. And the new ending was done without approval of the director or anyone involved in the original film. It was an AI ending, which was a happy ending. And it totally changed the context of the film. It totally changed everything. If the context of the film's first go round was this toxic relationship, now this new ending, people are saying it seemingly excuses the character's history of toxicity and, kind of, tacitly acknowledges those behaviors is okay.
right?
Like it just kind of goes on. The greater thing that I wanted to talk to you about is like in terms of legal ownership, like the people who changed the film freaking own it.
Someone owns the film who isn't necessarily the person who made the film,
Right.
which is
You know,
normal. That's studios make films; they own the films. The directors don't own the films; the actors don't own the films.
Exactly.
This is a problem we've had.
They used AI to finish the film.
That's hysterical.
They used AI to finish the film. I thought back about our prior conversations, probably just from a couple of years ago, when like we were like, oh, like our artistic freedom isn't going to replace people. They're just like you said with Meta stealing porn. They're stealing images, they're stealing content, they're stealing blah blah blah. Does this translate into some sort of moral authority? It just remodels like the soul of the work. It just takes the work and takes it in a different position.
It's a different work, though. Don't worry about it. You're overthinking it too much. They've taken their work that apparently sounded like it was pretty popular, and they've ruined it.
Right.
It's not just the original work they've ruined. They've ruined their investment, right? Because fewer people are going to want to see it. It's going to die, and no one's going to care about it anymore. Like if
I
you
guess
make
it was quite an uproar. Yeah.
If you make a masterwork, that thing about the long tail, it stays in the system for a long time, and you make $10 a year off of it for 100 years. That's a lot of money.
Right.
Right, it adds up. But if you destroy the work because you ruined it, no one's going to watch it anymore, and you're going to lose your value.
Oh God.
That's the marketplace.
Do you think that creative work, like your work, is like an extension of your identity? Do you see that?
Well,
and if you sold it, like
it's an expression, not extension.
Okay, expression. Okay.
The extension would be like trying to make it part of myself. The expression is it was something I said, it's done, I move on.
Okay. And so if someone took one of your paintings and then spray painted it black and put smiley faces all over it and changed it completely, that's okay? Or I guess it is if they own it.
If they own it, yeah. Now, that wouldn't stop me from smacking him around a little bit. But, I'm not going to ask for a refund or demand that they, do anything. I wouldn't sue them or anything like that. I would just, I would call them out and say unless, of course, they made it better, in which case I'd be like, wow, awesome.
Okay. It just really upset me because it feels like nothing is sacred anymore. And
Nothing
it's just
has ever been sacred, Catherine.
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right. Nothing has been sacred. And I just saw this as destruction of not only intellectual property, but like creative expression.
Well,
and
it's not really
just
destruction.
More.
I mean, you still have the original film.
Right.
Which you can probably torrent somewhere because thankfully it's out there on a torrent
It's out
somewhere.
there forever, right?
Yeah.
So I was overthinking it. I have nothing else to do but overthink these points.
No, it's worth talking about, right?
Yeah.
What does ownership mean? And yes, in our capitalist society, ownership means you get to do whatever what you want. And generally, of course, that's not 100% true.
Hmm.
Like there are restrictions on what you can do with things.
It's just disturbed me because if I had known and say I just looked at the original, not the original movie, but I just downloaded the retooled version,
Uh-huh.
I would think that that was the vision.
Of course,
And
that's
I would
exactly
come up,
what's happened to that's exactly what's happened to Star Wars.
okay, talk about Star Wars again. What happened?
So the original release of Star Wars was hailed as a huge success, a huge hit.
Right.
It redefines science fiction. Now, it's a great movie. It's not like a highly intellectual movie. There are
Uh huh.
certainly more highly intellectual. Like 2001 is a much more interesting movie, but
Yes.
Star Wars is a fun movie. It's a great movie. It redefined action films, and it was a wonderful expression.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, George Lucas had his peak when he made Star Wars, and then was
Mm-hmm.
on decline since then, creative decline since then.
Okay.
He re-released Star Wars 30 years later, I think it was. The
Uh
digital,
huh.
he remastered it. It was great because it looked better, but he added all this crap to it. There's this one scene where you see Los Isleys, one of the first scenes in the Star Wars movie.
Okay.
And instead of seeing like panning across the city, you start to pan across the city, but then literally like an elephant walks in front of the camera. This is a digitized elephant that's been added to it, and it's an alien elephant. So you
Mhm.
can't actually see the city anymore. And
Crazy.
it's a bunch of crap like that. And the worst offender was in the bar after the original discussion between Han Solo and Luke Skywalker and
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
They decide to rent the Millennium Falcon. They leave, and he's sitting there in the bar, and a bounty hunter comes and finds Han, and he's
Mm-hmm.
about to take him in. Han's not down for
Mm-hmm.
that though, so he shoots the guy. And the most hotly contested thing in the Star Wars universe, when Lucas re-releases it, he shows that the bad guy shoots first, which is
Oh,
a huge change in the character tone of who Han Solo is. Han's in the
exactly.
in the original film, Han Solo shoots him first.
Right.
In the re-release, he changes that so the bad guy shoots first.
This is very interesting. I remember reading about this. There is a relationship, even though it's very attenuated from the source, between the creator and what they've chosen to, put on film and the viewer, watching it. And there was like an intent. And so there was an intent behind the Han Solo character. And then to
Right.
have that changed, that really interrupts that relationship. It's like a third party, interrupting that relationship. I find that repulsive. Just the same, it's kind of similar to this
It's exactly the
to
same.
this Ron and Han, you take the whole thing and it just changes the whole experience. Like, why should someone who's not involved creatively get to change my experience as the end user?
You can't rely on the artist to keep their stuff good.
Okay. Okay, since we're talking about renaming things and reworking works of art or art adjacent, I wanted to just quickly talk about the GOP bill proposing the renaming of the Kennedy Center after President Trump,
Wait, wait,
etc.
wait. Was that a GOP bill? I thought that was an executive order.
No, it was a GOP bill. There was actually a bill proposed.
Okay.
There was actually a
Sorry.
bill proposed. Yeah, no, not an executive order. They're actually discussing this. Like, there's nothing else to discuss on this planet but propping up someone's ego. Of course, the Kennedy clan had some things to say about it. Maria Shriver was fuming about it. And John F. Kennedy's grandson, Jack Schlossberg, who I just love, he responded. And I just want to read to you what he wrote about renaming the institution. He posted, "The Trump administration stands for freedom of oppression, not expression. He uses his awesome powers to suppress free expression and instill fear. But this isn't about the arts. Trump is obsessed with being bigger than JFK, with minimizing the many heroes of our past, as if that elevates him. It doesn't. But there's hope. Art lasts forever. And no one can change what JFK and our shared history stands for." I don't know that art lasts forever, but I
No, of
think our
course it doesn't.
history, I think our history is our history. But I just want to ask you, James, like, can you name one thing that either of them, Trump or his current wife, have actually done for the arts? Like any of the clan for that matter. What have they done except provide grist for the mill of parody?
Well,
I mean, what have they done?
Trump has had many portraits of him painted. He has been fantastic for the AI generators. He's fodder for AI, right?
Uh huh.
Without him, would we even have AI? Would people even try to be making images? It's too much effort to try to make an image of Trump where he looks like a cross between himself and Rambo, right? I don't know. I'm
Oh
sure you've seen
God,
those
I've
images.
seen them.
That
Yes.
would be way too much work for the untalented MAGA.
Right. And I've seen him playing the piano like he's Elton John. And I mean, just ridiculous. But I mean, really, are they patrons of the arts? I mean, have they really
Well,
done
and
anything?
Melania, what did she do? Some light porn when she came over here as a quote model?
That's what they're saying. I don't know. I try to not give any of my eyeball cells over to that shit. I don't want to see this. Bigger question I had is why or how are so many in the GOP, these leaders in quotes, so okay with wanting to erase our cultural history?
Catherine, why do you keep asking me the same question over and over
Because
again?
it bothers me and I don't get
I
an
know it bothers you,
answer.
but this is the same. It's the same. They're slugs. They're leeches that just look for power.
I just don't want them to erase our history.
Okay,
Like they paved over the Rose Garden. That broke my heart.
that was illegal, by the way.
Well, can they ever get it back?
Of course they can. I mean, they have to
Yeah.
tear up the concrete and
Good.
replant the garden, but it's you can do anything you want at the White
What a
House.
crock of shit.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so that was just kind of my rant for this week. I'm just like, gosh,
That
can
was
you
really
just stop?
depressing. Don't you have anything positive to say?
Um,
Why should people listen to this podcast if you're just going to complain about Republicans every week?
I know, right? Gosh, I don't know. I have a public service announcement.
Okay.
Okay, don't stick anything in your ear. I have been dealing with the worst fungal infection in my right ear. I don't know if you go to Starbucks. I do
Of course I
constantly.
don't go to Starbucks. What do you think? I made of money?
Anyway, I go to Starbucks probably on the daily, but there's like a little green. It's like a long green thing that sticks in the cup where so it doesn't
A
spill in
stir?
your
Are you
car.
trying to say stir?
Well, it's a kind of stir slash cap. And there's like a little tiny like scoopy thing on the end of it. It just looks like a flat whatever. It probably is more of a stir, but it fits in their little
Can we just say stir then?
the lid. Yeah.
And move
Well,
on?
it fits in the lid. It fit. Okay, anyway, it's a stopper, a stir stopper. But my ear itched so bad. I stuck that in my ear because you're not supposed to stick Q-tips in your ear. So I didn't want to do that.
Oh no, of course. I think the idea behind not sticking Q-tips in your ear is not sticking things in your ear.
Well, I stuck that damn thing in my ear and I had the most intense pain. And I've been doctoring with this for almost 2 weeks now.
Okay, Catherine, I've got two things to say about this. One, you're a freaking nurse, right?
Oh, yeah.
How does a nurse? Oh my God. Also,
Because I had to scratch the
I don't
itch.
give a. Mm.
Go ahead.
Then you go to the doctor and have them clean it up for you.
Yeah, they did. He vacuumed it twice.
Okay.
Ugh, it's been horrible.
Second thing is, as bad as it is listening to you complain week after week about the Republicans, this is even worse hearing about your ear trauma.
Me
Because your
complain-
ear trauma becomes my ear trauma. Because I have to hear, now that went into my ears are melting off of my head right now.
Oh my God. But it was just a public service announcement, James.
That's not a public service amendment. This is like saying don't run over your foot with your lawnmower.
Oh, speaking of lawnmowers, I have a couple to sell.
These are things that should go on without being said. You shouldn't have to explain simple things like that.
I felt like I needed to. Anything else you need to add?
I wish I had something to finish off with that was a little bit nicer than that.
Oh, should we talk about something happy?
Do you have anything happy to talk about?
I no, not real. Oh, my dogs are happy. I bought them new treats.
I don't want to hear about your damn
Okay,
dogs.
okay. Well, then,
all right, so
you know.
here's a piece of advice. My son reads a lot of Wikipedia. He does a lot of studying, but he doesn't read any fiction at all.
Okay.
And it bothers me that he doesn't do that. And I keep telling him he should read, he should read, he should read. So I finally took my own advice because, social media has been really pissing me off lately. It's just all
Yes.
bad news. And it makes everybody's take is annoying and I'm annoyed by it. So I started reading again.
Good.
And I did the easiest thing I could. I had an old book from the Discworld from Terry Pratchett, and I started rereading, and there were like 30 books in the series. So I started rereading that. I would recommend that you do that. Turn the internet off and just read.
That sounds like great. I have the Wicked series, and it's actually very good. I'm going to restart it. I was reading it to my mom. She was enjoying it. And I'm going to restart it. I got probably about a quarter way through. And you're right. And with my ear thing, I just didn't want to hear anything. So I did turn off the telly, as it were, and I was in a real funk emotionally and not listening to that constant drone. I must admit, turning the TV off lifted my mood probably more than,
Yeah.
an antidepressant would have. So I started kind of working out a little bit and I turned the TV off and I turned on some music. And I'm just doing some stuff around here. And I think you're right. We could talk about all this rot that's happening in the world. Is things just seem, it just seems like whatever my concept is of good, the energy is behind the opposite of that. And it's really wearing me out.
Right.
It's exhausting.
We have to fight that, but we don't have to fight it 24/7. You can
No,
sit
no.
down and read a book and take a break.
I do think we still need to keep talking about that on our podcast and putting that out there, and
Well,
supporting
here's a
the
mini
good fight.
review.
But
Here's a
what?
mini review. Terry Pratchett, The Color of Magic. It's first book in the Discworld, and it's like Harry Potter, but it's comical. It's about
Oh,
wizards and people like that, but it's a farce.
uh huh.
It's very British.
I love British humor.
It's a good escape. It is a little mind bending how much of a universe he's created right out of the gate. Like in the first few pages, he starts describing this whole universe, and like page after page, it feels like he spent 10 years creating the universe before he started writing the book because he's got all these references, and it's just
Okay.
it's really gets you out of what's going on today, puts you in a different place.
Maybe we should do just like a quick chapter by chapter review,
No, I don't think that's necessary.
a reread.
No,
I'll read the book.
just read the book.
Okay.
I don't know if it's your cup of tea, but that's my recommendation. You can make a recommendation next week.
Okay. I read the Harry Potter stuff, and I enjoyed
Yeah, I
it.
did
So
too. I
anyway,
read that to my son. Okay, bye.
thanks for your time.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.